Alright, this one is a simple multiply and simplify where we have two rational expressions and we are going to go ahead and multiply them. Since they are rational expressions, that means that they are expressed in the form of a over b. In other words, we have a polynomial expression in the top and we have a polynomial expression in the bottom. Now, to do this, I could simply multiply these together if I wanted to, but then I wouldn't be able to simplify it. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to simplify each one of these polynomial expressions first, and then we're going to see if there are any common factors that can be divided out. So we'll start with the 5b squared minus 20. Notice that I can factor a 5 out of both of these terms. And that would mean that I would have 5 times the quantity b squared minus 4. Now note again that this is the difference of two squares. And I can go ahead and further simplify that and end up with 5 times the quantity b minus 2 times b plus 2. So that's going to go right here in the numerator for the first expression. Then we'll go ahead and explore this expression right here, 20b squared minus 180. Notice that I can factor 20 out of both of these. And that will give me 20 times the quantity b squared minus 9. Once again, this is a difference of two squares. And so we can go ahead and say that this is 20 times the quantity b minus 3 times b plus 3. And this is going to go in the denominator of our first rational expression. Next, we're going to move on to the numerator in this rational expression, and notice that we can go ahead and factor 80 out of both of these, and in doing so we will now have 80 times b plus 3. There's no further simplification for this one, so I'll just simply write this as 80 times b plus 3. And then finally we will check this last one to make sure that we can do some sort of factorization with it, and notice that I can factor 4 out of both terms, and I'll end up with 4 times b minus 2. So then I will put that in the denominator of the second rational expression. And now what I'm going to do is look for common factors that can divide into each other. For example, I notice that this b minus 2 in its entirety, if I divide it into itself, I'll end up with 1 here and also 1 right here. A common phrase for this is they cancel. Okay, but we're going to talk about dividing out common factors. Once again, I'm going to look at b plus 3 here and b plus 3 here. Notice that they divide out, and I'm left with 1s in both the numerator and the denominator where the b plus 3 originally existed. I can't do anything else with the variable expression part, so now I'm going to go ahead and look at the numbers. And the first one I'm going to do is, number one, I'll divide 4 into itself one time, and we'll divide 4 into 80, and that would be 20 times, which, if you notice, that gives me a 20 here and a 20 right here. And I can go ahead and divide those. And in doing so, this will divide into itself once, and this will divide into itself once. And now I'm going to collect everything that's left over. In doing so, I'm going to have the 5, this b plus 2, and that will be in the numerator. and then I will divide that by whatever's left in the denominator. And in this particular case, it will be b minus 3. And now I have simplified the expression. Now I can leave the b minus 3 alone, or I could go ahead and put a set of parentheses around it. It doesn't really matter, because in this particular situation, those parentheses would be understood to be there.